Our boat is almost 40 years old, and in the last few months, it feels like she's slowly falling apart. There's a leak here. 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 There's a leak up here. There's a leak there. There's a leak in there. There and there.
Becca, somehow after just working on the floor, managed to stand up and dislocate her knee.
They say when nothing goes right, go left. I'm Zach and this is Becca, and for the last 8 months we've been making our way from Aruba in the Caribbean Sea all the way to the Pacific coast of Mexico, to a small remote marina in the south, where we just pulled up to on our 40-foot sailing boat, Tay-Lee. We have a huge amount of work we want to do this hurricane season, so if that's your cup of tea, click that notification bell and frankly, buckle up, because we're about to get busy.
We made it to Mexico. We made it to Mexico.
What a passage.
We're here.
We were ultimately quite lucky with the thunder and lightning situation throughout the passage. Some days it was predicting a lot worse than we actually got. The last night looked like it was going to be terrible.
It said thunderstorms the whole night.
And like the skies kind of just looked awful, but most nights we were just sailing in this kind of opening, like 100-mile wide, kind of just like band, which kind of moved with us. If we were further out to sea, we would have got bad weather, and if we were close to land, it would have been worse as well. So we were just kind of hovering in the ideal spot.
The safe spot.
But yeah, we were very lucky on that front that we didn't really see any of that. It was pretty rainy for a lot of the nights, which wasn't bad.
We literally picked the best weather window we could. It was still like not great, but it was the best of the bad situation.
We couldn't have left Nicaragua much later than we did in the season, so I think it's about as far as we could have pushed it. There's still people going south right now, but it's just getting worse and worse with lightning and rain and everything like that. So, and
low pressures are starting to pop up around this area, and there was a low pressure system kind of starting when we were out there. It's now disappeared, luckily, but
things are trying to spin in this area and start going, so I think we've picked a good time to be here.
But we're also looking forward to this place, you know? Aside from the monstrous sized dengue mosquitoes around, we are happy to be here.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, we've got loads of cool projects all lined up for here, haven't we? And loads of things we want to get done whilst we're here.
Yeah, so stay tuned and subscribe if you haven't, so you don't miss a summer upgrade video, because there's so many exciting things on the horizon.
Yeah, there's a lot to do.
But for now, I've got to go and sort the TIP, which is our temporary import permit into Mexico. That means we'll be legal, and we've got to take the sails off, we've got to pickle the watermaker.
There's tons that we've got to do just before we can start getting into the major ones, just kind of getting the boat prepped and ready for the time we're going to be here.
We've got 30 inches of rain forecast in the next 10 days. So we have a few leaks we really want to address. If we can't get it done before the big rain comes, then we'll just have to do temporary ones, but we'll get it done. But yeah, that's the update. We're in Mexico. We are... That was like half a high five and half a hug, but yeah, we're happy to be here. Whilst Zach began the job of taking our sails off, I made the hour-long trip to the Guatemalan border, where I was to begin the formalities to legally import Tay-Lee into Mexico.
Now I need to let them dry for probably a little bit, because they are still soaking, and then drop them all, get them all down, fold them away as best I can, and then I'll start on the head sail. So yeah, but thankfully it's not raining right now, but we really want to get these two down today. Here's a bag.
With the sails down, it's time to pickle the Watermaker for the first time.
Here's my single litre measuring device and my bucket. I'm going to fill up the bucket that I've got here with I think about 10 litres and then 3 tablespoons of the pickling solution, which I'll show you in a second. And then we turn the whole system on, run it until it's just about empty because you don't want to be pulling air through the high pressure unit and through the membranes. And then we shut it off and it's done for the season. Easy.
Pickling makes sure that the membranes inside the Watermaker are preserved when not in use for longer than a couple of weeks. If we didn't pickle it, we'd come back to, at worst, a ton of microorganisms and growth in it, resulting in it not working any longer. And at best, a damn awful smell.
Might be here for a while. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now for 3 scoops of this. 1.
It seems like it's going down?
Mm-hmm.
Good.
I'm feeling sucked through.
That's good.
Yeah, off. Yeah, brilliant.
Nice one. Wow, that was way easier than I thought.
And then I'm going to switch this back to the normal intake.
Oh, that's a really good amount you left.
It was just about to start to whirlpool down into it, and
Yeah.
I was like, oh, no.
Okay, should we turn the seacock off as well?
It is off.
Nice. Good job. We weren't sure whether you had to bring the pressure up, but apparently you don't. It goes all through the system, the 10 litres, and within like 3 minutes we had pickled the system, so that was way faster than I thought. So yeah, Zach's just gonna put the bed back together. We've just got to actually look into whether we need to drain and remove the filter from our auto flush. We don't know, because if the water's left in it, even though it's fresh water, it might still go a bit funky, so we're just going to do some research now and then see.
Oh, right.
With the auto flush also drained, we could tick that job off the list.
Wow. Wow, 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 wow. It's been a crazy few days. I'm going to start with the good news, because I think in life you should always focus on the good news first. We checked into Mexico. We checked in, our tip is done, it was only $60. Someone in an anchorage in Costa Rica told us it was going to be $500, so that was really nice. And we're legal in Mexico. That's always a positive. Second one is, this marina is actually really nice. It's got a really nice cruising community. It's in the middle of nowhere, but we don't really care. It's cheap. I think from next month we'll pay about $300 for the month, which is one of the reasons we picked it. It's outside the hurricane belt, just lots of different reasons. And something else, good news, is we bought this the other day. Actually, let's give you a proper look at it. So this is Connie, or as Zach likes to call it, Aeron. And it's a portable aircon unit. We bought this thing for a ton of different reasons. We basically went to Home Depot, because there's one nearby, to buy a dehumidifier because it's wet season and everyone says you need a dehumidifier, otherwise everything will go mouldy. Your clothes, your walls, your cushions, everything. So we went to buy a dehumidifier, and for $100 more-ish, you could buy one with an aircon unit. Great news. So, we came back, we set it all up. This is kind of the only place it can go for now. I'll get on to where it's going to move to, but you would expect us to be able to like turn it on, cool the whole boat down, and everything's easy and great in the world. We're not sweaty anymore, we're just living our best lives. And then you realise that when you live on a boat, there's always a curveball of some sort. Like an issue that you just couldn't even dream of until you do something, and then there's an issue. So, now I get onto the bad bits. And just buckle up. Buckle up. Firstly, we turn this on, it starts getting cooler. Wonderful. And then the mosquitoes start appearing. One of the reasons we got this was so we can have all the hatches shut, and keep all the dengue mosquitoes out, because we are in a dengue hotspot right now. Mozzies are everywhere. You see them outside the boat at night, shining a light. So we thought, great, this will solve all of our issues. No. Negative pressure is created when this runs because it's pumping hot air out. So it has to bring air in from somewhere. As a result, we are finding all the drafts we never knew we had on the boat. Namely, this entire area is just an entire draft. Like, there's a jet stream coming through here. And what's worse is at night, mosquitoes hover nearby because, I don't know, they're smart like that. And they just get shot into the boat like a mosquito vacuum. Just like, vroom, vroom. Like 7, 8, 9, 10. We kill them, we spray everything, we citronella, and then vroom, another one comes in. There's that. We have taped it up, but there's always going to be somewhere where air needs to come into the boat. So there's that. We're working on it, and Zach is actually in Home Depot at the moment finding a solution for it. I think we're just going to get a wooden washboard, put a wooden washboard in and cut a hole out for the out of the aircon, and then crack that little hatch and put a bug net on it. That's our solution for now. Didn't think that would be an issue, but there we are. Now for the biggest bad news. It feels like our boat is falling apart. Our boat is almost 40 years old, and in the last few months, it feels like she's slowly falling apart. I've been pretty chilled about it for the most part, but I'd say in the last week, we've sprung maybe 10 new leaks we didn't know about. Not under the waterline, can I just say? That would be bad. Hull is great. The windows, the hatches are not great. I think what it was someone 5, 10, maybe even 15 years ago sealed all the windows, hatches with the same Sikaflex or sealant. What's now happening is it's all failing at once. We were going to get here and fix it straight away. However, the weather forecast is bleak. Yeah, that's all I've got to say about that. So Zach has gone to Home Depot also to buy a massive tarpaulin, and hopefully we can just like cover the boat and either reduce it until it stops raining a bit, or kind of get it dry enough so that it can seal it. But the kind of annoying thing is, because we've sealed this to stop the mozzie vacuum, we now have to come through our hatch in our cabin to come into the boat, and we get our whole bed wet every time. It's just, we're not thriving right now. It's fine, we're getting there, and this is just one side of boat life. Just gotta deal with. I guess that's the update. So, there's a leak here. 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 There's a leak there. There's a leak up here. There's a leak down there. There's a leak down there. Wait for it. There's a leak there. There's a leak in there. There's also a leak up there, there, and there. That's life right now, and we're just getting through it and using all our rags and towels and t-shirts and all sorts up to try and keep the boat dry. And the sun will come out another day, I guess, and life goes on.
and just keep boat dry again.
Oh, there's jet screw with the What the heck?
Yeah. I'm going to put the top of the bow right now.
You got a big one?
Really big one.
Okay, will it fit through here?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. Be like that. It's way more out of the way. Okay, shall I mark this up then?
Yeah, I think that's going to be right. Beautiful, look at that. Yeah, that's not so bad. And then that's the one that's going to go out. Yeah. That's going to go. Oh yeah. That is snow. Nice. It's so much better the unit being here as well.
These little tabs want to push in because they don't have anything to click into, but that's fine. They'll just grip.
Put this on there as well. All right, thank you Parker for helping with that. It's all done now. And it doesn't look too bad. This is the out fan for, we put a strip of rubber here as well. And the main issue was that when it was going out of here, the prevailing wind tends to be that way. And so it kind of pushed the hot air out and almost suck it back in through that hatch. So now that's kind of all sorted. We've got fresh air being pulled slowly through here, but bug net over it, so mosquitoes aren't getting sucked into the boat now. And then it comes out here, into here, all the excessive hot air goes out of here, and you're good. So, and there's way smaller gaps all up here as well now.
The last thing to do was to give it a lick of varnish to protect it, and this job's a good one.
Okay, it's now the following Monday, and as you can tell, I'm by myself because Becca somehow, after just working on the floor, managed to stand up and dislocate her knee. So she's in the UK at the moment, seeing a physiotherapist and getting some x-rays done and maybe an MRI, because we're not too sure what she's done. We don't know if it's a ACL. Yeah, some of the ligaments in the knee might be damaged, torn, but while she's going to be away for the next maybe month or so, I'm going to be starting some jobs. I'm going to start looking at this window and how to do it, and I'm going to show you guys why we're exactly replacing them, where the water's been leaking in through, and what our exact plan is to get these all sorted. This is going to be the first one that I'm doing. We're on the starboard side at the moment. So the windows here, as you can see, where the screws go through here, right there and in that area, that is where it's leaking worst at the moment. These rings that you can see here, which got paint and a little bit of filler in them, I think are threaded insert. We're not 100% sure because we've never done this before on this boat, and there's flathead bolts out there. So what I'm going to do now is, just with this one on the outside, just unscrew it and just have a look and see what we're dealing with. We're also going to take down all of this stuff as well, which is just held on here with double-sided sticky tape. We don't know if we're going to put this back on yet. It might look a bit kind of cleaner without it, but we'll figure that out once we get there. But all of these windows have got that kind of white trim around it. That's horrible. Ugh. Alright, so they're definitely threaded inserts. I can actually pull them out. Yeah. So that's the insert, and then that just goes in and squeezes the whole thing down. I thought they'd be in a little bit better than that, but this one almost just fell out when I undid it. I don't know if some of them just worked loose over time and that's why the leak's coming through, but... Let's do this. Okay, I've got the window right here now, and what I'm gonna do is I've got to get all this kind of old black foam off, so I'm just gonna go around the whole thing with a chisel just to get rid of all of this. I need to prep the area on this and get it nice and clean. Then I need to go and do the same for there, clean off all of the bolts as well because they've all got kind of bits of Sika or whatever sealant they used around it still. And once I've done that and prepped the surface, properly cleaned it, I'm gonna do a good bead. Actually no, before I do that, I'm gonna tape up around the whole perimeter of the window with some blue painter's tape. So when I do put on the caulking or the Sika next, put the window on and use a palette knife to go around it, it doesn't go everywhere. So that's the order of business now. But for the next probably hour or so, I'm going to be cleaning this and making sure it's really good and prepped for the next stage. So yeah, fingers crossed. I've got a really nice dry day at the moment, so it gives everything a good chance to dry out properly. Okay, alcohol is not getting that off. I need to see if you can use WD-40 on things like this, because WD-40 is normally a really good solvent for getting sticker residue off like this. So I'm going to give that a go. I don't want to use acetone because I just hate using acetone. It's not a very nice thing to work with. You can wear gloves and all that kind of stuff. I mean, this isopropanol stuff is medical stuff, so you can get it on your hands and it will just clean them. So yeah, I'll give WD-40 a go and see if that works, but I need to research if it's alright to use the Perspex first. Well, I found out a few things. Any petroleum-based product is rubbish for acrylic, and pretty much all harsh things, acetone you can't use. You're not even meant to use alcohol, so I cleaned that off. It got recommended that washing up liquid, fairy liquid, whatever you want to call it, would work in hot water and a rag. Didn't work. So I've settled on using these and just dragging them along. This is just a Stanley knife blade. I've got a few more, but this seems to be the best thing for the job. It's super flat, and so it's kind of getting everything. And then once I've done this, I'll rough up the surface with some 150 sandpaper so we get the best mechanical bond possible for the windows. The surface is all prepped, taped and ready to go. I've just cleaned the bolts of all the old Sika that was on it or whatever it was. Funnily enough,
towards the starboard side of the window, the bolts are actually a bit longer than the other ones because the pilot house is laid up a little bit thicker there. So yeah, which is interesting. I'm going to start caulking around the window, making sure I get in all of the threaded inserts properly, and then slap the window on, tighten them down ever so gently, just so it's just squeezing out. And then I'm gonna go around, tidy everything up using the palette knife and making sure that's all nice and tidy. Parker came over to help me hold these threaded inserts in because every time I was pushing a bolt in, they were just coming out this side, so it was a little bit useless. There's a lot of areas where I got pushed through the threaded inserts, like there, but none of this is the end of the world. I'm gonna let all of that kind of stuff here, I'm gonna let dry and then just cut away with a Stanley knife, because if I try and wipe it, it's just gonna go all over the window and just make it way worse. And then we're repainting the saloon anyway, so all of these kind of black dots here we'll sort out when we repaint the whole of the saloon, because we don't want to use this kind of like household paint again. We want kind of wipeable paint, because on a boat things get dirty, and when you've got paint which is like this, it's not the best thing in the world. But yeah, one window down, 4 to go, 2 smaller ones left, and then these monsters are going to be pretty fun to do. I've never done any window like that ever before. It is just vast, so let's do it. Next one. Lovely. Now I've got to clean all of these and get all of the old seeker off. I don't know how many there are here, but there's a few. It's off. Well, I got that in. Here's a monster. It takes up like most of the saloon. I'm gonna start actually working on this now and cleaning it all up and getting it prepped and ready. But wow, that thing is way heavier than you think it would be. The longer we own Tay-Lee, the more passion I've found for doing projects which I know actively minimise our daily inconveniences, whilst also being key to our safety offshore. While strips are more of an annoyance than a threat to life, we've seen over the years the power of the ocean and want to make Tay-Lee as leak-proof as possible. So these are a good place to start.
Big window down, small window, small window, smaller window. So it's 3 of the ones we're going to do in here that are done. I've just removed the trim from this one, but this is the last one we've got to do. I've also cleaned up all the bolts, so what I'm going to do now is take it off, clean both the surfaces, loosely bolt this back on, tape it, cork it, wipe it, take the tape off, do the bolts up, yada yada yada, and then we'll actually be done in here with all the big jobs. And then I just need to go around and tidy up where the corkings come through. It's quite easy to get it off the plexiglass because where it's so smooth, the plexiglass, it just kind of peels off there because it doesn't have a good bonding surface. But yeah, one more to go and then we're done. Almost there with this. This is all clean now, as you can see, top and bottom. What I'm going to do is pick up the window, which is beneath me right now, get out of here, put it up, and then, yeah, we're almost there, which is good. This has taken me way longer than I thought it would. I thought it would be kind of do both big windows in one day, but it's definitely a one-a-day kind of job, but it's just cleaning them. It takes ages to get all this sticky residue off, but yeah, almost there now.